welcome to the quiz review. Let's get started by finding the truth value of the following conditional statements. Number 1a. If 14 plus 14 is 28, that's true, then 8 is even. That's also true. Two truths give us true. If a triangle has two sides, that's false, then a square is a triangle. False. But two falses give us a true. For number 2, I'd like us to identify the hypothesis and conclusion of each conditional statement. The hypothesis P is always the first part, the if statement. Q is our conclusion, that's the then statement. So let's take a look at number 1. For number 2a, if two lines intersect at right angles, then the lines are perpendicular. The hypothesis is two lines intersect at right angles. The conclusion is that the lines are perpendicular. Letter B, if the sum of two angles is 180 degrees, then the angles are supplementary. The hypothesis is the sum of two angles is 180 degrees, and the conclusion is the angles are supplementary. In number 3, I'm going to rewrite these statements as conditional statements, not just regular sentences. So number 1 says, the measure of an angle is 90 degrees, so the angle is a right angle. And this is what I came up with. If the measure of an angle is 90 degrees, that's my hypothesis, then the angle is a right angle. And that's my conclusion, that the angle is a right angle. Letter B, 3 points are all located on the same line, so the points are collinear points. Let's start with the if. If 3 points are all located on the same line, that's my hypothesis, then the points are collinear. And the part that says the points are collinear is my conclusion. All right, so those few problems talked about our truth values. Now let's do a little bit of algebra with these supplemental angles. Now what we have here in number 4 for A and B are two angles that are a linear pair, which means they create a line. They're supplementary. That means they add up to 180 degrees because that's how many degrees there are in a line. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the angle on the left with the angle on the right and set it equal to 180. Next, I'm going to combine some like terms. 124 minus 3, those are like terms. So I get 121 plus x equals 180. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 121 from both sides now in order to get x by itself. X equals 59. Let's do the same thing for letter B. Ooh, this is a crazy one. Look at all those terms. There's two terms on the left and on the right. That's fine. We're still going to add them together. We're still going to do the angle on the left, so 7x minus 14, plus the angle on the right, 2x plus 5, and they still equal 180. Now I see two pairs of like terms here. I see 7x and 2x, and I also see minus 14 and plus 5. So first, 7x's plus 2x's give us 9x's. Negative 14 plus 5 gives us minus 9. And that still equals 180. I'm going to move this over so it kind of lines up a little bit better. There we go. All right. The next step is to subtract 9 from, or sorry, add 9 to both sides, because that undoes the subtraction. Now we're left with 9x equals 189. And we finish up by dividing both sides by 9. X equals 21. All right. Not too bad. A little longer than usual, and 2 pairs of like terms this time. All right. Number 5. We are going to state whether or not these two triangles are congruent based on the way that they're marked. So the first thing that I like to do is just see what markings each triangle has. So the first thing I notice is they both have this right angle. So they both have a 90-degree angle. That's great. Then I notice they both have a side that has 1 tick mark. And then they have another angle right here that is congruent to each other. Now I see 2 angles and 1 side on each triangle. The key here is it a sandwich of 2 angles and a side for both of them? And the answer is yes. This is an ASA, angle side angle sandwich, so they are congruent. Let's write down the congruent statements. I'm going to begin with the 90-degree angle. I've got angle A congruent to angle C. Then next I'm going to write down the sides. The side is, let me zoom out a little bit, AE and CD. And lastly, that final angle, angle E and angle D. All right, let's do the same thing for this one. Oh, that's my previous writing on it. All right, let's see if this is congruent. I first see that they have a side that's congruent to each other. Beautiful. I also see an angle. But that's all I see that's marked. This is not enough information for us to say that these are congruent triangles. We need at least 3 parts to say that these are congruent. So the answer is no. They still have congruent sides and congruent angles though, so let's write them down. The congruent sides they have are LJ and ST. And the 2 congruent angles they have are angle J and angle T. Lastly, let's write some more congruent statements here. So what I see is 2 tick marks right there and right there. So I have SR and QR. And these 2 sides both have 3 tick marks each. So that means PR and TR. Lastly, let's take a look at number 8 with these markings. I see an angle here with 1 arc and over there as well. That's angle S and angle E. I also see an angle marking that has 2 arcs. Angle H, this was an accident, and angle F. If you feel comfortable with all the things that we are looking at on the quiz review, then I think you will be comfortable and succeed on the quiz that we have this Friday. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of whatever day it is for you. Bye!